let's talk about somebody else who has a good arm, but not necessarily from where we saw him this weekend. Yadi pitched. And apparently these guys are pitching because the Cardinals are blowing people out.
They are.
Like big time.
Or it rains.
Well, it rained and they were blowing out the Pirates.
Yeah.
Like absolutely blowing out the Pirates. So I had that game. I had on my Sunday parlay or Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was. I had the Cardinals over. Yeah. And they scored. They had 5 runs in the second inning. I was like, oh, yeah, I think they're going to hit it. And then I checked like 30 minutes later. I was like, oh, yeah, there it is. The Cardinals hit it by themselves.
No big deal.
Oh, my goodness.
Over.
And then 9.
8 now? 9? You're like, no big deal.
I had to have 10 total runs scored in the game, and they scored it by themselves like by the 4th inning or something like that. Like, there we go. All right. Very good.
That's great.
But yeah, and then I went to check the score later of that game in particular because I noticed that it was continuing to go up. And as I was looking at it, I saw that it was 15-0, and I went to go show my wife. I was like, look at the score. She goes 18-0. I was like, what?
Huh?
That's not what the score was a second ago.
Oh, you don't say. Oh,
there were 2 guys on base. Now there are none. I understand what happened there. It's so
Fantastic.
Funny. But to preserve pitchers, I guess Yadi has been wanting to pitch. I would think so. I mean, this
after
is the thing,
Albert did.
Well, yeah, especially after that. And as a catcher, I get it. You spend all that time in the bullpen. Like, I could pitch.
Yeah, of course you could.
You can't pitch. You can't pitch. There's a reason you're not pitching. Let's be real. Yeah. But so Yadi went out there. He pitched 1 full inning, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, no walks, didn't strike out anybody. He gave up 2 home runs. Good enough for an ERA of 36 even, just like Albert Pujols himself.
That's what I was going to say, is they now have the same ERA.
I'm curious.
Go to the Hall of Fame with the same ERA.
You know what's going to happen is they're going to need another position player to pitch again, and these guys are so competitive. They're going to be fighting to get on the mound so they can improve their ERA. So one of them has a lower ERA when they retire.
That's exactly what's going to happen. You know that's right. Well, so I did a little digging, and there are 13 other position players who have pitched this season so far. And it is ridiculous. Do you want me to go through this list really quick?
Yes, please. How many appearances, first off, does Brett Phillips have?
2 games, 3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 8 runs, 3 homers, 0 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a 24 ERA.
He's better than the other 2.
He's better than me. That's what I was like,
with more innings pitched. With more innings.
That's right. Oh
my
man!
goodness.
And he's giving up more runs on top of that, which is awesome.
All right, who else?
Okay, Carson Kelly of the Diamondbacks, obviously Brett Phillips, Will Myers, San Diego Padres, D. Strange Gordon, Washington Nationals.
Yes,
Mike.
That's right.
Mike Brasso of the Milwaukee Brewers, Diego Castillo for Pittsburgh, Kevin Plawecki for Boston Red Sox, Matt Reynolds, Cincinnati, Nick Gordon, Minnesota Twins. Luis Gonzalez, San Francisco Giants, Albert Pujols, St. Louis, Hans, how do you say that name? Hanser Alberto. I don't know who that is. For LA, Chad Pinder, Oakland, and now Yadi. That's all.
You're
14.
missing one. You're missing one.
What am I missing?
During this, during that same game, Josh Van Meter with the Pirates pitched too. Yeah,
he did really.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Well,
so Van Meter had to catch a game earlier this season where he was not a catcher. He had to go pitch. I'm curious which he was like freaking out about less, right? Like which was more stressful, getting on the mound trying to throw strikes off of a hill or getting behind the plate and catching for the first time in however many years.
What do you think would be more stressful?
Pitching, 1,000% for me at least. But I'm also, I don't know. My thing is like you give me a cup and catcher's gear and I'm not afraid.
Right.
You could
even
wing,
catching 98, 99.
That's what I was saying. You could wing 98, 99 at me and I'm going to be okay. It's going to hurt for a minute, but I am not good. I wasn't good at throwing strikes to 7-year-olds this season. I know I'm not going to be good throwing strikes to grown men.
Yeah, but you were on one knee. You were on one knee and there was no rotation, and you're using your elbow to throw the ball.
There's a reason for that, Brig. I'm trying to
I know.
reduce the motion.
I know. And the strike zone is 12 feet wide and 6 feet tall.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because they're going to swing at everything. They get 5
Every
pitches
single
regardless
thing.
of where they are. So they're
Exactly
swinging.
right.
I will say this, though. By the time I got to the end of the season, though, I was not missing bats. I was pretty happy with myself.
That's awesome.
Pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty rad.
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
no, I do think pitching would be way more stressful. There's a lot more pressure on you when you pitch because you have to throw strikes. You can't just walk everybody around because you'll never get out of the inning with that.